Alright learners, let's looking at this task 3.21. And if you made some errors or you're not sure of it, I'm going to quickly explain some of the entries here. The first thing you need to take note is your dates. You are working for the 31st of October. So when they give you a recon from last month, then September in other words, that is the end of last month's recon. And at the end of last month they had a balance in the bank statement, and obviously the bank would have started with that at the beginning of the year, but that would be shown on the bank statement, so we don't have to worry about that. These outstanding deposits and outstanding checks, these were outstanding because you had put them in your receipts and payments in September. The bank had not received the deposit and the bank had not paid these amounts. That's why they're outstanding. What is important to remember is that you've already entered these in your receipts and payments. So you can't enter them again. And then the balance as per the bank account, if you're using the one column method, this is a negative balance, plus your deposit, minus your checks, and you can get your balance at the end, which will be your opening bank account on the 1st of October. So now let's look here. Under point number D, they tell you that on the bank statement, there's a deposit for 8440, and there's no details on it. So you don't know what it's for. However, if you go back to last month's bank recon, as I've just said, there was an outstanding deposit last month. So you already put it in your receipts journal last month. This is telling you that the bank has now received it, and so there will be no entry for that 8440. Then there were these checks, 185 and 197. Again, no details. The minute you see that, just always look back to last month. And you'll see that at the end of last month, again, these were outstanding. So you've already put them into your payments journal. They have now appearing on the bank statement, and so therefore they're no longer outstanding. So again, no entry. Alright, there was a problem though. Cosmos put check number incorrectly as 996 instead of 1323. You, the business, made an error. And you put too little, so the difference is going to have to go into the cash payments. Right, I just want to look at this point 5. It says to you that check number 97 has been outstanding for some time. And again, when you get things like this with no details, just always go back. Again, this was a check we wrote out some time ago. It's been entered in our payments journal. The bank hadn't yet paid it. That's why it was outstanding. However, they're now telling you that this check has been outstanding for some time. You issued it to Fly Stationers, and the check must be cancelled. Another way they could have said it to you is they could have given you a date, and this could have been older than 6 months, in which case we call it a stale check, and that also has to be cancelled. Now when you wrote out that check, you would have put it in your payments journal. So if you want to cancel it, it'll have to go into your receipts journal. You're not receiving the money, but you're cancelling a payment that you originally put down. Now then, the other thing I want to look at is post-dated checks. Post-dated checks are checks that are dated for the future. Now look at point number 6. It says during October, the month we're working, a check for 3,500 dated the 15th of November. That's next month. Was paid to Upright Furniture for upgrading the admin. This check has not been recorded. Right, this is next month's check. And this is where prudence dictates what we've got to do. We need to be realistic. You have paid a check out here for 3,500. The check has not been recorded. Now, you cannot go and spend that 3,500 on anything else. So even though it hasn't been cashed, it's going to be cashed in the future. It's like any check. They could take 6 months to cash it. So the principle is that when we write a post-dated check out, it must appear in our cash payments journal, and then it will be put into your bank recon as an outstanding check. It's outstanding. It hasn't been paid. So when you pay a post-dated, be realistic. You can't go and spend that money on something else, so it goes into your cash payments, and therefore it is outstanding because the bank hasn't got it. Right, although this exercise hasn't got it, let's just look at a post-dated check that we received. So we would receive a check that's dated, let's say, November. Again, be realistic. You have not got that money. It'll only be paid into your account on the date on which the check is dated. So, being realistic, we make no entry. Now just think about that. If you had by mistake put it into your receipts journal, it looks like you've got the money, and you actually do not have it. And you could get yourself into trouble paying things that you don't have. So, in that case, a post-dated check that you receive, no entry on it. All right? And then just remember, the bank statement showed a debit balance. Remember that the bank is opposite to our account. So a debit balance on the bank statement is a negative. It's an overdraft. Right, so hopefully that explains some of yours, and you can just check with your teacher and mark this exercise.